Hello, it's Dominique. So in continuing, we're going to make the pages inside the folio. So I'm going to show you again how it works. So the way it works is that our pages, they flip on each side and they each have a gusset here that is attached to the bottom, to the back of the book, okay, the back cover. So first we attach the one that is the biggest here, and then we attach the one that's the next biggest here, and then the next biggest here, and then the smallest here. Okay, so we're going to do that. So all we do is gluing our pages onto the back cover, and as you can see the gussets are changing. So we're allowing 3/8 of an inch for each gusset, and as we go another one, we're adding a 3/8 of an inch, and then another one here. So we have 3/8 of an inch, and here we have 4 3/8 of an inch. And then we have already measured this one. That is the right measurement. So first of all, you'll see that there's a lot of tearing here because I've done this video and I had made mistakes and I had to tear everything and start the video again. So I'm redoing that now. So first you have to measure the width of your piece of cardstock that you've put here, the exact width, okay? And you're going to cut 4 pieces of that. So here I have, depending how much you put in there, here I have like 7 and almost 15/16 of an inch, 6 and 15/16 of an inch, almost 7 inches. Okay, so you do those 4. Now I have this little chart that I've made for you guys. So the lower page is going to be page number 1. So here we have to measure 7 inches for the 2 lower pages here. Okay, for the page itself. From here to here it's 7 inches. This one and this one. Why we don't do the same here is because here, as you can see, we have the gusset of 2, well, here we have 1, 2 pages here, but here we have 2 of them. Here they're kind of banging together. They're adding thickness. So we don't want the lower pages to be banging on those extra layers of cardstock. That's heavyweight cardstock with 2 pieces of cardstock pattern paper on each side, and we have 1, 2, 3, so that's kind of adding up some thickness here. So our pages here, the 2 lower ones, are going to be just a little bit less wide, but since the 2 last ones here, the 2 top ones, we don't have this accumulation of gussets of cardstock layers, so we can afford to go the whole 7 1/8. Okay, so that's what I've got here, the measurements. So we have for the 2 lower ones, so the lower and the second level, we're going to have 7 inches of the page, and then we're going to have the 3/8 of an inch. So the first level, that is the one on the bottom, we only have this 3/8 of an inch gusset right here because we need to have room for the 2 interactions here. And then this one here, we're going to add an extra 3/8 of an inch because we have the interaction here and here, okay, plus the ones that are here. And this one here, we're adding an extra, so that's a third 3/8 of an inch because we have this interaction and this interaction that are adding up. And this one is the 4th one. We're having like the amount, like 4 times the value of 4 of the 3/8 of an inch because we still have this interaction and this interaction, so we have to add those up. Okay, so that's why here I have the first gusset's going to be 3/8 of an inch, the second will be 6/8 because we're adding 3/8, and the next one's going to be 9/8 or 1 inch and 1/8 of an inch, and then the other one is going to be 3/8 more, which is 1 inch and 4/8 or 12/8 of an inch for the gusset. Okay, now we're also adding on this one because we have to glue those, so we have to have extra paper to glue those on the back cover. So we're going to do the first lower ones, so that will be the first one here and here are going to be 1/4 inch, okay, each, and then the 2 upper ones will be 1/2 inch because I want to have like a 1/4 inch here and then 1/2 inch, so that you have kind of a slope here. It's not like too piled up and then you have kind of a bump here. So we're going to go like this, or it could be like this. It doesn't matter because we're going to put a piece of paper on top as long as we don't have them the same length. Okay, so that's why I'm having different I call that my seams, where I glue on the page or on the album. So we have the two first layers, so the one on each side here 1/4 inch, and then the next two ones, one on each side, 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm going to use that chart and I'll measure all my, I'm going to score all my lines. Okay, so first of all, the first one, I'm going to put this here so you can see as I go. Where's my score tool here? So I'm going to write down the numbers of the pages. So that's number 1. Number 1 here. Okay. So here we have 7 inches. So I'm doing 7 inches right here. Hope you can see. So 7. Then I have 3/8 more. 1, 2, 3, because my lines are 3/8 of an inch. Okay. Then I have 1/4, which is 2/8. So 2 more eighths. That's why I'm going to cut my page, my sheet. Okay, so that's number 1. Then number 2. So I'm going to write down 2. Okay. So here I have 7 inches. Here I have 6/8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. And I have again 1/4, which is 2/8, so 2 lines. I'm going to cut my sheet here. Next one is going to be number 3. So here we're going 7 1/8. Okay, 7 1/8. Then I'm going 1 inch and 1/8, which is 9/8 more. So I'm going to go here so I can count better. So that's 1 inch and 1/8 more, and then 1/2 inch. Okay, 1/2 inch or so, as long as it's a little bit more than 1/4 inch. So that's my number 3, and then my number 4. So I have 7 1/8, and then I have 1 4/8, which is 1 1/2 or 12/8. So 1 1/2 inch more, and I have the 1/2 inch more here. There, I'm going to cut that there. So I'm done with this. Now I'm going to cut those. Four. 3, 2, and 1. Now what you do is you taper the corners of the last little section. That's what you're going to glue onto the cover. Don't need to taper too much, just a little bit, so that we don't see the edge of the paper on the side of the album there. This and this. And when you cut, if you're not comfortable with this, I suggest that yeah, good. You start with the line where you want to cut it from, and then you go to the rest, and then you turn it, and then you start again on the line and go like this. Okay, now I suggest that, so that you don't make the same mistakes I did, you put an X on this side. This is the as you can see, this is the back cover. Okay, so you put an X here and an X here. That's where you need to glue your stuff. Okay, and also what you do is you have to glue number 4 first, because here we have number 1. Number 1 has been glued on top of number 3, and this is number 2 has been glued on top of number 4. That means you have to do number 4 first, and then you go on the other side. So make sure you have your straight lines upwards. Double check with your book to see if it's the right ones. So you just fold those, and I don't fold all the way with I don't crease them, because then that would kind of tear the paper, because this is heavyweight. So I just go like, you know, not all the way, but almost, because it's not gonna fold more than that anyways. Now I need some glue. So this one starts here. Okay, so I'm gonna glue here. This is my number 4. So I put the glue on the back here. Gluing this right here, and you have to see the should make sure that I don't see this here. Okay, you have to see where the fold of the album here is. So you can fold it and check where you're putting it. So you have to kind of be close, but not all the way to the banging this spine. Okay, so you do that. You're straight here. Make sure that you're aligned with the edge of your paper that you've put here to cover the spines, and make sure you're straight line here. Okay, so that's number 4. Now I'm going to go with number 3. Sorry. So number 3 is going to be on the other side, because we have the even numbers on one side and the odd numbers on the other side. So here you go here like this. So I'm putting the glue right here. And I'm going to do the same. So on where I put the X, that's where I'm putting the page. Okay. So make sure you see it's coming just exactly where the paper is ending. You have to make sure that you're folding all the way. It's good. And that you're aligned with the other page. Check that for sure. Now. And then you press here to secure everything. Then you go with another even number. That's number 2. That's where we're at now. Fold those. This here. This here. Put the glue on this little piece here, section here. Okay. So this is number 2. Is going to be on top of number 4. Okay, so I'm putting that right here, top of number 4. Make sure you're on the same place where you have this piece here. That's what you're doing now. And you have to see the folding line, the scoring line on of the other piece underneath. Because if you don't see it, that means you're over it. If you're over it, it won't close. So you have to just see it. Okay. And then you make sure that you're nice and aligned here. Aligned here. See the line of the previous page. There. Secure. And then the last one is going to be number 1. You have to be really focused when you do that, because you might make mistakes like I did and have to tear everything apart and restart. This is the only second time I do it, so I'm not quite sure. So this one's going to be going on top of this little seam here. You have to see the fold, and you have to be aligned with the edge. And then you have to see the fold and be pretty much aligned with the other page on the other side. So you press on that and then secure it here. So here you have 1, okay, 2, 3, and 4. So you have them all here. Okay. So all you have to do now is, well, you can round the corners. I did that here. I'm going to do it again. So I round my corners. And then I suggest you start with the lower level, because if you start making the pages, the interactions on the front, on the top level, you don't exactly know where you're going. This is all squishing because it's so heavy. So I suggest you start with the lower one first, the bottom here. Here what I had done here is the plexiglass page, because I wanted to use acetate and I could not find any, so I bought the plexiglass. And I have an accordion here so that I have access. And so you're gonna make something not too thick, but as long as you can stay within this and leave some space for the interaction on this side, okay? Because what you got to do is, after you make the one interaction here, you make sure you have like half of the hinge, or the hinge taken. If you take more, that means you have to make a thinner interaction on that side. So you check after you've done the one here, you check and see, okay, I've got this much room, and you have to really respect the height you have here, because if you don't and you make it too big, this one won't close on top. It'll be too big, it won't close. Okay, so you have to make sure that everything is respecting the thickness of your gussets, not going any thicker than that. And you have to remember that you're putting photos, cards, maybe matting paper, so go like light. Okay, don't go too heavy interactions. And then you do the same when you're here. When you do this one, you have to make sure that this one here on this side is not going to be too thick, so you have to respect the 3/8 of an inch. So it has to be total less than 3/8 of an inch for the two interactions on the one side, between each page. Here, when you do this one, after you've done it, you have to respect what you've got left here, and then it's going to be easy for you to see it, because this is going to be all full. You're going to be flat, you know exactly where you're going, so you're going to see exactly what you've got left. So you make one here. If you want to make a thicker one, you make just a flap or a pocket on this one so that it's really thin, and then it's going to fill the space here. Same with this one, and then when you're going this one, that's what you do. Okay, it's going to be filling this one and this one, respecting the 3/8 of an inch. And then same after you've done this one, and you do this one, to make sure that you have this 3/8 of an inch that's still here. So I'm not going to do all the interactions that I've done in this book here, but if you have any questions or any interaction you would like to have the tutorial of, so that you have some kind of, how should I say, so that I'm showing you what you can do, the possibilities you have, and if you tell me, okay, I'd like to make such or such interaction, what should I do on the other side and all that. So I can help you, and I can give you little tutorials on some interaction you would like to see. But other than that, I will go only with what you want. And after this is posted, I will give you a week to decide to ask me which one you would like to have, because after a week I have to finish it. So I will have to finish this book. So you decide, and you get 7 days after this is published to ask me to show you any interactions. After that, there will not be any possibilities of that, because I will be finishing my book, okay? And I'm not making tutorials on every single page of it. It will take forever. So I hope that everything is clear for you. If you have any questions, just write in the comment box, and if you need to have a little something more explicit, like a little video to teach you a little technique, I will do that for you. So make sure that you write down the question properly, so that I know exactly what you mean, so that I do the right thing. I might ask you, do you mean this and this and this, before I do it, just to make sure that I have the right answer. But other than that, you should be able to do that. You do whatever you want, as long as you respect the 3/8 of an inch for the two interactions that are touching. Okay, and then after that, you just decorate everything and have fun. So thank you for watching, and I hope that everything goes well, and you can send me the videos or pictures of your projects that you've done. I would really like to have that, to see what people do after my tutorials. So just do that, and I'll be happy to encourage you and tell you what you need to know. Okay, thank you very much. See you later. Bye bye.